The woolly mammoth, the dodo bird, the thylacine, they all have one thing in common. They're extinct. There are billions of species that have died off this planet, but what if we could bring them back? Hey everyone, our documentary will be about bringing back extinct animals through cloning. Every day, around 30 to 150 species in the wild go extinct, and that's mostly because of humans. So it seems like a moral obligation to make sure we bring back these species, but this idea was originally seen more like a fictional sci-fi idea rather than a possible reality. With the rapid growth of technology used for DNA and genomes, it may be possible to bring back extinct species, a process called de-extinction. At the University of California, ecologists have stated what species they wish to bring back from extinction, with the woolly mammoth and the passenger pigeon being at the top. The woolly mammoth went extinct around 4,000 years ago, and that was pretty vital to maintaining the landscape of the tundra they lived in. It is believed that back then, the ground was partially mossy, and this was because the woolly mammoth would grind up the soil and fertilize it with manure, which helped to make sure the moss didn't take over the environment. Once the mammoth went extinct, this moss took over, and now the tundra is less effective. The carrier pigeon was also essential to the ecosystem, as it was estimated in the 1800s there were around 5 billion carrier pigeons, and with an extinction that massive, there must have been problems within the ecosystem. Carrier pigeons were great at spreading seeds, so with the extinction of them, forests couldn't grow as rapidly, so as humans started to chop down trees productively, there wasn't anything to help grow back the lost trees. There are a couple of ways that cloning can be used to bring back species such as these. First, there is cloning, similar to Dolly the sheep. This involves taking a cell that has been preserved from a recently extinct species, then extracting the nucleus, then planting the nucleus into the animal's nearest living relative, then implanting the egg into a suitable host. This method can give us a species almost identical to the extinct species, but the problem with this method is that it can only be with a recently extinct species with a preserved cell and nucleus. Another option is through genetic engineering. This involves looking at the genome of the extinct animal and comparing it to the closest living relative. Then with genetic engineering tools, you could swap the genes around from the extinct species into the closest relative. This genome would then be implanted into a suitable host. This wouldn't create a genetically identical animal, but it would look and behave similarly. Some problems include finding a fully intact genome with the right genes that can be swapped out. Some benefits of de-extinction include new attractions. These de-extinct animals could be used similarly to Jurassic Park without all the death. People would pay more money to see something like a Tasmanian tiger or a dodo bird than they would to see a penguin. So it could provide profit for zoos. De-extinction can also be used to help endangered species who don't breed easily by using one of the two methods we mentioned earlier. It could move species from being endangered to vulnerable, and then hopefully back to a suitable population size. De-extinction also helps with fixing holes that these animals left in the ecosystem, like reintroducing mammoths back into tundras or carrier pigeons back into forests, and maybe some environmental problems could be solved. The other benefit of de-extinction could be a moral reason. Humans are the biggest reason for animals going extinct, so with this de-extinction, we can finally repay what we have done to the environment, and maybe we can feel morally good about what we've done. There are some risks involved too, such as accidentally reintroducing diseases and disabilities. If we are trying to bring back a species through genetic engineering, we may not know precisely what is in that genome. Maybe some disability or something similar could be hiding in the genome. So if we reintroduce a species, we might be creating a mammoth with stunted growth or a carrier pigeon with wing bones that are too heavy. The first case of de-extinction back in 2003 involved an extinct species called the becado. They inserted becado cells into the goat's egg, completely void of its own DNA, then put the egg into a surrogate mother. What followed was the birth of becado, but only for 10 minutes, as it died because of a massive blow that grew out of his lung. Is it morally correct to create life for an experiment that could end up being the subject suffering for its whole life, even if it is just 10 minutes? Cloning isn't something that we are 100% comfortable with, so it's not like we can just fix the genome of some species easily. This is new to us. There's also that moral risk in which people may not be afraid of extinction anymore. Hunting levels may increase and humans might start treating animals as numbers of a species rather than individual animals. This could mean increased cruelty as they don't care about the individual animals. In addition to that, many species could become wiped out because scientists can't keep track of every single animal that needs de-extinction. When dealing with de-extinction, we have to ask ourselves, is de-extinction worth all the time and resources? Do the benefits of de-extinction outweigh the risks?